have all been selected because we believe you have the potential for great leadership.
I would encourage everybody there are no shortcuts. When you're in business, do it properly.
Advice is always the same. Do not look in the rearview mirror for the first 4 to 5 years. In India, no business is built overnight.
In the last 6 months, we've impacted 35,000 lives.
Team Indus is leading the charge for India to take a rover to the moon.
This is an initiative called Moonshot Wheels, where this bus is making a journey of 12,500 kilometers around India. The bus carries a prototype of our rover, a model of our spacecraft and a simulated lunar surface. The bus gives all the information about our space mission.
I don't know how you describe it, and frankly, I don't know what it is. I guess you're either born and brought up with it, and you love it and you learn it, or you don't. But one thing I do know about the little leadership that I have to exercise in life is that you actually see it first before you do it. You see that castle on the hill, you see that vision of exactly how your company will look like 10, 15 years from now. You know exactly what your ministry will do 5, 7 years from now. You know exactly what your NGO is going to do with the beneficiaries and the grassroots and how you're going to help people. And you see it in grainy detail, not in a fuzzy picture. And it's almost like a dream. And then you, over time, you go and implement that dream. And you just stick with it. And yes, it's not going to be 100% exactly like you imagine it, but it has to be at least 95% that. Otherwise, it's not a vision. And when you exercise that leadership, I think it's that conviction, in spite of all odds, that you are right and you had that vision, that needs to be disseminated and needs, your people working with you in the team need to be infected by it. Otherwise, you're just another manager. And I think that is the difference between management and leadership.
Leadership is something which is there, which can be there in you, which has to be identified, but you have to be an off-track, offbeat person to become a leader. It cannot be a man who has just planning, looking at the castle, planning his vision is good. That's for a corporate world. But for a leadership in a country like India, but nonetheless, if that is so, for me, what is leadership is something very, very simple. लेकिन मुझसे अगर कोई पूछे कि सबसे महत्वपूर्ण आप क्या दे सकते हो, and what I would like you to become, आप सब अगर अच्छा इंसान बन सके, तो possibly that is the biggest contribution to the society and the leadership.
With a choice, we make every choice in 2 different ways. Either we do analytic, reflective choice, or we make choices through inspiration. I believe you all have come from different countries of the world, different parts of India, different educational background, together here because that inspiration through which you made a choice to come here. And inspiration is very powerful.
And my simple purpose in life is make heroes out of common people while leaving my footprint in the sands. It's not an exalted version. It's a very simple version that whatever I do, I want to make heroes out of my team members and do in a manner that I can look back and say, in my own little way, I made a difference to the context. Whatever you choose to do, you need to have huge amount of determination and a huge amount of passion. The important thing to do is dream big.
Those who live off politics and those who live for politics. And the people who live for politics are the ones who make a difference. And that is the category that you should strive to be in. The values that you're being taught here, to lead, the way you're taught to take decisive action with ethics, the way you're taught to evaluate your decisions in a moral and ethical context, that is very important.
Do you just want to win, or do you want to do the right thing? As long as you lean towards doing the right thing, you know you're not going to misstep or do something incorrect.
Transparency, the lesser privacy remains. But at the same time, we still have...
People want to innovate themselves. Young people, like myself included, believe we're the best. And we can do it ourselves. And there's no one that should stop us. And that is the energy of young India that will come through. That is the energy of young India that will push us forward. That is what will create jobs. Because young Indians will create jobs for themselves, along with the support of the government, which will which will entail the creation of more jobs.
While it does take a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens to change the world, it actually takes a movement to make that happen. And so as you start your journey of becoming a leader, I think it's very important to realize that you are an individual who can take people with you, but it's extremely important to take as many people with you as possible. This quote was on our presentation. It was the first quote that came up, and sort of led myself and my wife to shift gears, to sort of speak, to come to India and really support social leaders of this country that we admired, that we respected, that we were inspired by, and simultaneously work with the for-profit leaders of this country and globally and help deploy their funding a little bit more effectively.
Constantly think about what are you willing to let go. The business world is all about holding on. The social space is all about letting go. Every single day of your life, constantly think about what are you willing to let go.
All these disasters and terrible tragedies that are happening all over the world could actually be an incredible opportunity, not only to save lives, but also to build bridges, to change people's perspectives, and to learn how to make this place, better. And what my main message for you today, and that's what we are trying to work with Shiv and with Tigelf, is go out there. Don't stay. Step out of your comfort zone. Go and meet these people and interact with them and work with them, and not just something to check your box that you visited a slum or that you did what we call volunteerism, which is going out there and painting a wall in an orphanage and going back. No, go out there really. Meet these people, learn from these people.
Experience, there's no doubt about it. When I was in my early 30s, I was invited to be vice president of a company by an amazing 3-star Air Force general who was the Air Force attaché in Moscow during the thaw, Gorby's thaw. And he invited me on. But my first week on the job, he announced he was leaving as president.
Coming back to carbon. So I just felt that, as an actor, I have social responsibilities and they are building leadership. And you need to be the example you want to set. And last year in Delhi, we saw the smog. And I saw a picture of a 4-year-old child walking to school with a mask on. Couldn't breathe properly, was coughing and had a mask on. And it just hit me like a bullet that this kid who can barely speak has to go through this because of stuff we've done and our forefathers have done to the planet. And because I'm an actor, I know how to tell stories. And I thought that could be a great tool to communicate to the people that, guys, if we don't wake up and smell the coffee, this is what could happen in 2067.
We only have one Mahatma Gandhi in 100 years. Or why only one Sardar Patel, or why we have one Maulana Azad. And this is crisis for us. Like you have one Mandela. I don't think in last 50 years we have been able to produce these leaders. And I think you are really hitting it, because we need these. We need Mahatma Gandhi, we need, Mandelas, we need Sardar Patels to sustain this universe for coming years together. So I thought that our youth, if they are given an opportunity, I think they can really do wonders. So that was the first impression.
One of the most dynamic officers in our country, and someone who truly embodies the core T-GALF values of leadership, ethics, altruism, and decisive action, and is an innovator, an entrepreneur, and a disruptor at the core of his heart. It gives me great pleasure, honor, and delight to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Amitabh Kant.
India is passing through a window of demographic transition, which rarely happens in history. 72% of our population is below the age of 32. very light dependency burdens. But if you have a perspective of 3 decades, it's not possible to do that without disrupting India in many, many areas of growth. And the hallmark of this has to be constant innovation. And therefore, if many of you sitting here are able to crack these challenges and find solutions for India, actually you will not be finding a solution for the 1 billion people of India, but you will be finding solution for the next 7 billion people of the world. But if you are able to find a solution to India, you found the solution for the rest of the world. Nobody else would have that size and scale. So this is a great opportunity, and let me compliment this unique institution, TGELF, for posing these issues, challenging people, challenging young minds to find solutions, and finding solutions to India. I wish all of you all the best, and I wish that all of you go on to become outstanding innovators. We in Niti Aayog welcome you to find solutions to India's education, India's health. You find solutions to India's problems. You find solutions to India's farmers, and we will award you. We will make you meet the Prime Minister of India to say that you are the biggest, you are the best disruptor of India.